what's going on? I am back for another Catfish review. Definitely make sure that you turn on your post notifications and, subscribe to my channel, y'all. And guess what's coming back real soon? Power. Yes, so I'll most likely be doing that one. I was thinking about Love and Hip Hop, but I don't know. I ain't really feeling it like that. It's like one of those things right now. It's like I see it when I see it, but I'm not rushing to watch it. You know what I mean? So anyways, let's talk about this particular episode. So Emily, she's 22 from Ohio, and she's actually calling for her best friend, whose name is Alexis. They've been best friends since, I think they said like 7th grade. And she's always been the one to kind of defend Alexis, because Alexis had a lot of issues with like bullying and things like that. So bada bing bada boom, she met this guy named James on Tumblr, and they've been talking for 5 years. Mind you, they've never video chatted. So here we go into these relationships that have really taken over so much of their lives and their youth, and it's like you don't even really know this person at the end of the day. It's like you know them, but you don't know them, you know? So Alexis, she even told her friend that she wants to move to Canada to be with this person, and it's like, how could you do that if you're not even sure? So, Emily just seems like she's one of those really guarded friends. Like, she makes sure that her friends is good. And she's been doing that since day one, so why stop now, right? So Alexis, she when they called her, she sounded pretty excited for the fact that, she wasn't mad or anything that her friend Emily had put her out there on the show, all her business and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool for her. She sounded excited. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that she really did this. But she was like, okay, yeah, let's do this. So Alexis tells her portion of the story or whatever. She said pretty much in 6th grade, she used to get bullied a lot. And she it got so bad to the point where she had to get homeschool. But when she was at school, that's how she actually met her best friend. So that's kind of how that happened. And then it's like she became homeschool, and now she didn't have any real friends anymore. So I guess that's how she moved to the online world, the amazing world of social media, found James, and then they became, real close after that. In 2018, they were supposed to be going to a gaming convention, and James ended up ghosting her for like 6 months, and then just magically reappeared months later with a meme, and then boom, we all good again. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, somebody ghosts you for 6 months, so like, you need to tell me everything about what happened with you as far as like why you ghosted me. Like, that's unacceptable. We don't just magically reappear again. But she did say that he's the type that really uplifts her, encourages her when she's speaking down about herself, maybe perhaps with self-esteem issues or social anxiety or whatever it is that she has. Then he's able to kind of balance her out. Sometimes, it's good to, not sometimes, it's really most cases it's good to have people like that. But you also don't want somebody that's gonna like kind of enable you, you know what I mean? But it is good to have people that are gonna uplift you if they're able to handle that, because sometimes those types of things or those types of relationships can also get very exhausting, especially when you got your own issues to deal with. Now you got to try to, don't talk about yourself like that, you can do better, all the time. So you got to be careful with those types of relationships too, because they can be very draining. So Neve and Cammie, they reached out to someone that actually knows James, and she said that she has spoken to him, and he sent her books. He works at a bookstore. So now it's like, does he do this to everybody? Is Alexis special at all to him, or is she just like everybody else? Another thing that Alexis did reveal is that he's a transgender male. So that's kind of some of the issues that he's been having. She also had mentioned that they never actually even spoke on the phone, so she never even really heard his voice. So it's like, damn, at least if you would have talked on the phone, like, it seems a lot more real. But knowing that you haven't talked on the phone, you haven't video called or anything, it's just like, damn, I just feel like it's to the point where it's like, you don't know this person at all, at least in my book. So things were starting to get a little bit weird because they seen like another profile of him, which it was like, all right, what's this all about? And then all the pictures that Alexis has are the same pictures that are on Facebook. So it's like nothing really special to her. You know, it's not like it's anything exclusive. It's just almost like, oh, like I seen a meme a long time ago that it was like, oh, you wanna see me? Well, just look at my Instagram. You know what I mean? And I've said that to people before. I remember some dude was trying to talk to me like, oh, this was like a long time ago. He's like, oh, can you send me some pics? I'm like, you don't see my Instagram? Like, dude, I'm not sending you no pics. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, you're bugging right now. I have thousands of pictures on there. If you want to see a picture, just put in my name in the username, Samore's World, and you can see my photos. That's it. Yeah, I don't know if you try to get some OnlyFans types of pictures, but it ain't gonna happen. Not over here. Sorry, boo. So, yeah, that was with that. So, anyways, so that's one thing that they uncovered that was kind of weird. So, and they told her about, you know, the gifts giving and stuff like that. And they also spoke to a girl that her name was Asma, and because she was friends with him like on both of his pages, and she said something about that he was in a relationship with a guy named Nate. So now the plot thickens because it's like, like who's this guy? What's going on here? And you know, now it's getting to the point where they're hoping that Alexis is not going to get hurt in this situation because they could see that she's pretty much fully invested in this whole process and in him. So when Alexis heard that, she did seem to be crushed from everything that they said. You know, she just seemed to be really hurt by everything. But the next day when they spoke to Jaymes, he said that he wanted to do right and he was going to come on the Zoom and just kind of speak his piece and speak his side, which was great. They didn't really have to like beg him like how they have to do with some of these people or really do like super investigations. So I'm like, okay, this was not too much of a difficult process. So Jaymes said that the reason why he never really came on camera or anything like that was because he has like a lot of body issues, dysmorphia, and he doesn't really he barely accepts himself, so it's hard for him to like kind of put himself out there for other people to accept him. And he also didn't want to lose that friendship that he had with Alexis, because Alexis is literally like his best friend as well. But Jaymes did also make a confession that I think he said in 2020, it might have been 2020, I think, that he had a relationship with a guy. So pretty much what the girl had said was kind of confirmed. I guess it did break up, but it also was just last year. So it's like, damn. And he knew how Alexis felt about him. So Neve, he wasn't really with the shits when when all that was going down. He was kind of like, you know, I don't really like this. And I felt like Neve was being like a big brother. He was kind of more, or like a father figure, because he's like, you know, he doesn't want her to get hurt. So he was asking like kind of like the right questions and advocating for her. And probably the questions that if her friend Emily was around would probably be asking as well. Like, okay, so you had this person, but you knew that there was an interest. So it's almost like you're putting her on the back burner, you know, and you're just kind of going with the flow. Like, do you really want to be with her? Because saying that she's your best friend, that's different than saying that you're in love with her or you really actually want to be with her. And it's kind of like, oh yeah, you know, if she wants to, we can definitely try something. Like, is this what you want to do? Like, you're way too nonchalant about this whole thing. So I think that that's where the problem was lying, where Neve was like not really fully convinced. But I feel like there are some people that are just like that. You know, you want to see or you want to get a reaction out of them, but they're just kind of like, yeah, okay. But you're expecting them to be like, yeah, you know, yeah, I want to do this. Yes, let's get in a relationship. But they're like, you know, if that's what he wants to do, then we can do this. I have no problem with it. Like, you mean you have no problem? Like, can you get excited? You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I feel like Neve was seeing from Jaymes. So when confronted about that, you know, and after them knowing that he was dating somebody like in the real world, it wasn't even just like a virtual thing, kind of like how they were. He said that at the end of the day, he didn't want to, like I said, he didn't want to lose Alexis. And that was mainly the reason for his, like, not wanting to kind of move forward. It's almost like, you know, you have that comfort zone, you have that person that you could talk to all the time. It's like, you know, when you do have literally a best friend and maybe it's the opposite sex or, you know, same sex, whatever. And it's like, damn, if we move forward, if we don't work out, will we ever be able to have the same type of friendship that we've had in the past? Like, a lot of times you just want to cut that person off because now it's going to be awkward, especially if they move into a new relationship, you know? So that's the kind of part where you really have to think about it sometimes before you move forward. So I guess that's kind of what I feel like Jaymes was kind of feeling, or having those types of emotions, you know, or kind of thoughts prior to thinking about moving forward. So yeah, Neve was just like I said, he just wanted to kind of protect her, but it looks like, you know, they did show the recap, well, not the recap, but, you know, the where are they now type of thing, where it said that it looks like they are now, like, they're waiting for the COVID restrictions to kind of be lifted or whatever, but they're in a relationship and things are growing and they're doing well. So, you know, you never know. Sometimes you do have really good love connections from these catfish stories. You know, sometimes it is the real person and they can move forward. Sometimes, you know, it's like, I never ever want to see you again because you're a scum bucket, you know? So it just kind of depends, but it was a pretty decent episode, pretty quick. All right? So let me know what you guys thought down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.